recently posted a poll on my Twitter page asking what villains the fans wanted to see in Marvel and Sony's Spider-Man sequel. The options I gave were limited to 4. Kraven the Hunter, Mysterio, Scorpion due to his setup in Homecoming, or others, or previously seen. The results weren't all that shocking. Unsurprisingly, fan favourites Kraven and Mysterio gained the majority of the votes, with Scorpion falling just slightly behind. And any other villains which we have either seen or not seen on the big screen before only got around just under a quarter of the overall votes. So let's run through the list. Though Scorpion was seemingly set up in Spider-Man Homecoming, I'm not too sure if he's deserving of a main villain role in a Spider-Man film. Similarly to Shocker, he's always destined to be a secondary villain. I'm excited to see him in film version, and he's a great villain, but I think it's best if he takes a secondary role, like the role of the Shockers in Homecoming. Now that we've got all the setting up of Spider-Man out of the way, and he's no longer officially a rookie, we have more time to develop these villains. Scorpion could easily take a backseat role and still have plenty of screen time. Maybe he could also appear as a reoccurring villain in future Spidey flicks. But the idea of having another movie dedicated to a presumably bald guy in a green techie suit sounds a bit redundant at this point. Michael Mando has already been cast and he seems okay. So yeah, I'm fine with that. Now, Kevin Feige has openly stated that we will see newer villains in the Spider-Man universe, and we won't see as much of villains we've already previously seen. The top 2 picks for new villains seem to be Mysterio and Kraven. Personally, I would most like to see Mysterio, as he's a very underrated villain who is actually pretty cool, and he is very deserving of having a film dedicated to him and how he would mess about with Spider-Man. Just have Peter doing a job for the Daily Bugle, where he's asked to interview a stage actor who is just tragically replaced by another stuntman or something. Hell, just by including a basic storyline such as the one I just came up with, you've already killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Mysterio's backstory set up, and the Daily Bugle was introduced, and we can get a look in on Peter's job. And also, the introduction to J. Jonah Jameson, played by J.K. Simmons, I don't care. And yeah, Mysterio is just a cool villain. He was actually originally going to appear in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4, as we all know, that didn't happen. As far as who I'd cast, I think Zachary Quinto would do a good job. Kraven. There's an airplane outside. Kraven, another great villain that I would love to see on screen. The only problem with Kraven is probably going to come from the fact that I would want Spider-Man to be a bit more advanced, so that he's more of a dangerous hunt for Kraven. Right now, he's probably reaching like 70% of his full powers, so I think maybe the 3rd movie would be a better time to introduce Kraven as a villain. That way, Spider-Man's powers are more developed and Kraven has a more challenging time hunting him down. Seems like a great idea though, and he's fairly grounded and easy to bring to the big screen. Like, he doesn't require any large CGI or tech. He's just a guy with some slightly enhanced abilities that enjoys capturing the most dangerous prey. My casting for this remains the same as it did in 2014. Oded Fur would be great. All he needs to do is hit the gym a bit and he's pretty much perfect, though it is unlikely he'll be cast. Now, other people are suggesting names like Gerard Butler, and don't know, but he just doesn't really strike me as the Kraven type. Manu Bennett, I've probably butchered that, but sure. I haven't seen any of his stuff, but I'm sure he'd be good for the role. Other names include Javier Bardem, and I've probably butchered that too. Yeah, I think he could also probably pull that off quite well. Now, Kevin Feige did say he wanted to get new villains for the movies, so we could obviously see some others such as Chameleon, Morbius, or maybe someone like Carnage. Any of those would be pretty cool. But that doesn't mean we couldn't also see villains that we've seen in other Spider-Man films. Though we've seen like 4 different Green Goblins in under 15 years, the Green Goblin is one of Spider-Man's best villains. He's a great antagonist, and I'm sure Marvel wouldn't miss out on the opportunity to include him and Oscorp into the MCU. Same goes for foes like Doc Ock and Sandman. So overall, I'd say my top pick for the villain in Spider-Man 2 would be Mysterio, played by Zachary Quinto. Spider-Man 3, I'd have either Kraven, played by Oded Fur, one of the larger threats like the Green Goblin or Dr. Octopus. Fingers crossed for any of this to happen though. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, that's the video. Please leave a like down below if you enjoyed, and I'll speak to you all next time.